we are back for another episode in the series of Superlatively Wonderful. Woo! And you'll have to excuse my voice. I'm actually a bit poorly.
She's sick.
I'm sick as a dog.
Oh, that Megan Gilbride, she's sick.
Oh. So I'm a little bit hoarse, but you know. So today we're going to film a video about how to not settle.
And we're talking about romantically, because we're aware that the last videos we did were very much focused on like life and kicking ass and, you know, being the best version of yourself. And we didn't really talk about boys. And we are talking about boys, I suppose, in the sense that we're both heterosexual. But all of this could be applied no matter who or what you're into. But basically we wanted to address romantic relationships because they're tricky little fuckers. It's time to not be shat on. It's time to not be shat on. And you laughed when I said that.
I did.
Earlier on.
It is time to not be shat on.
But it is time to not be shat on in that, for me, I find myself often in romantic relationships, and I'm largely, I mean, I am single. I've been single for a very long time. But the reason is, my relationships, I think, don't work out. I am so eager to prove how capable I am of loving that I sacrifice so much of myself in the pursuit of, look how much I can love you, look how much I can do, look how much of myself I can give you. I end up being shat on because I'm not really treating myself with respect.
Yeah.
So then boys don't treat me with respect. Or a lot of the boys that I have dated have not.
Yeah, and I think that works both ways as well, because Laura, from a single lady's perspective, like, I am recently single after a very long relationship, but it works it works the same in terms of you can still be shat on when you're not single. It's not a case of, oh yeah, like you go out there and you give it all your all to people that you think are gonna be warm and receptive to it and in turn treat you with respect. It's exactly the same when you're in a relationship. So it's time to not be shat on. Yeah.
Which ties in wonderfully to point 2. Establish your own self-worth. So this is something that I have really been wrestling with. That, okay, I want to be loving and I want to be giving and I want to be open.
Yeah.
Megan and I talk about having a great big open heart surrounded by a great big fucking fence. And it's really hard to like balance the two, but establishing your own self-worth, I think I have really had to like take a step back and say, right, what are my boundaries? Yes, I will be prepared to go to the ends of the earth for these particular people or on this particular issue, but then maybe on others I won't.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have boundaries for yourself, to know what you're willing to compromise on as a person, because relationships essentially are about compromise, because you, with another person, you're a unit, you're a team, you're not going to work or think the same way about everything, and so you do have to compromise some of yourself, and it is about making sure that you're comfortable with those sacrifices and realising that you are worth those choices as well. Like, it's okay for you to not feel like you don't want to compromise some things, and just because somebody else wants you to do that doesn't necessarily mean. You've got to be able to know what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be able to set those boundaries.
Yeah. Sorry. What you were just saying feeds in to what we've written here for point number 3, being comfortable with yourself.
Which is really actually very difficult to do, I think.
My whole deal is this. Sometimes, most of the time, I'm very comfortable being single because I appreciate I'm still figuring out a lot of stuff. Who I am, what I want to be, what I'm capable of. And I see many, many, many people in relationships because they would rather be with the wrong person than alone.
Yeah. I think Laura and I were talking about this last night, and I said to her, like, she's just got it down. Like, in terms of, like, no, not everybody's got their shit together, but Laura has, at the minute, I feel like a really good balance.
At the minute.
At the minute, yeah, at the minute. A really good balance of she's working on herself, she's making sure that she is the best version of herself and doing the things that she wants to do so that she is prepared to let somebody else in. Like, if you're...
Do you know, I have said that before to people, that maybe in some respects I'm becoming the best version of myself for my future.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because ultimately, as cliche and as cheesy as it sounds, how can somebody truly love you unless you like truly do love yourself and feel comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah,
like,
it just breaks my heart when friends or people that I know, people who even reach out over email, you know, when they're with the wrong person because they don't want to be alone, and I just think, do it, take the leap.
But it is difficult. It is difficult to do, but honestly, like, it doesn't make you less of a person for doing it. It makes you more of a person, I think, to be able to break free and to be alone and look after number one.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, if you can do that, then you can look after somebody else. Like, I feel you can do a better job of that when you're not worried about where you're going or what you're doing. Get your shit sorted. Feel good.
I do agree with that. That this year in particular, where I've been like, I'm gonna look after myself as much as possible, it has made me feel really selfish.
I was just gonna say
it, but then I've been a better friend.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, it's not selfish. It isn't selfish, because in turn, looking after yourself means you look after other people better. Like, Laura's been one of the best friends I've made, and I think, because she is so invested in people, and I think she's so comfortable with what she's doing and how she's working her life, and she's not, you're not 100% happy, but who is, you know? Like,
but I'm whole.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Point four. Now, we had a bit of a discussion about this one, didn't we? Talking about saying no. And Megan brought up the point that establishing what your own boundaries are, what you're worth, saying no is really important.
Yeah.
Also, though, I would like to add to that, in establishing your boundaries, this is something, again, that I've been wrangling with this year as I've decided to, like, prioritise my own, even like mental health. When you put yourself out there and say, this is what I need, or this is what I want, or this is how far I'm willing to go, you have to be prepared that somebody else isn't going to be okay with that.
Yeah, it's not just about you being able to say no to things that don't make you happy or comfortable. It's about accepting that everything you want isn't necessarily going to be okay. Like, it's okay for you to say no, and it's okay for somebody else to say no too.
You have to be prepared to walk away, but also be prepared that the other person will as well. And if that's the case, then they ain't the right one.
No.
But on the back of what you were saying about everything is a work in progress, what we've said for point 5 is the question maybe when it comes to how not to settle, the question isn't to say, am I settling? The question is to say, is this relationship the best it can be in this time?
Yeah.
So sometimes the best relationship is where you feel like the most beautiful, witty, intelligent version of yourself, kind of in the honeymoon period maybe.
Yeah.
But sometimes the best version of your relationship in that time is going to be, well, we didn't fall out today.
Like, what I've learned in particular is that like, relationships are massively like roller coasters, aren't they? They're just up and down all the time. But fundamentally, are you happy? Is this the best possible version of you with this person? Because if you feel like you could be doing it better alone, then maybe that you should be. And this isn't actually a video of like us saying everybody should be single.
No! Oh my god, no!
But
no.
It's a case of there is too much. There is too many people.
Too much people want to make bad choice for not be alone.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be alone. And where did that come from? Because
there are other relationships that you can nurture if your romantic relationship isn't making you the best version of yourself if you feel like you're settling.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where you compromise and you figure things out. And that's very, very, very individual. Your version of settling will be different to my version of settling. So
everybody, yeah, it's
subject
to everybody's individual situation.
Yeah.
But you know deep down, you'll be sat here, if you've got this far into the video, thinking, I know that I'm settling. Or you'll be sat there thinking, I know that I'm onto a good thing here.
Yeah.
Like,
but either way, the important thing is just to ask yourself the question.
Yeah, and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it for you, and ultimately you're doing it for the other person as well. It's not just a completely selfish act. It's thinking, like, are you making this other person happy? Are you the right person for them to make them the best possible version of themselves? Like, it works both ways. It takes two to tango.
It takes two, baby. Every video. It takes two, baby. Me and you.
I can't sing today because my throat's
today.
Today. Oh! I just thought I should have taken the piss out of how I was talking. She was actually saying that I can't sing ever.
Old Slowy McSlowison over here.
Mill.
You're sick. Okay, shall we go?
Okay, later.
Go forth, be brave, and as ever, be superlatively wonderful.
Oh yeah!